Hello stars, my name is Blue and today we're lost in Hiveswap Friendsim. Real quick before we get started, I'm going to start a quick schedule. Heartbound will be on every Monday and Hiveswap Friendsim will be on Wednesdays and Fridays until we finish it, and then it'll just be Heartbound and any other game that I can get my hands on that will work. Hopefully I don't run out of games before I can get a better computer, but back to Hiveswap. Okay, we are going with Stelsa. And I'm assuming she's the fashionable one that we heard about. Oh, it's raining. Okay, so it turns out stealing a car was easily one of your better impulse decisions. You've gotten accustomed enough to its weird insides by now that the squishiness doesn't faze you much anymore. Still, it feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature, but you actually find it kind of comforting. You can just let yourself get enveloped by the seat while the autopilot does its thing. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia with your feet up on the dash sure beats endlessly pounding the pavement. Sometimes you even throw Sirava's stream on your phone if you really want to get a chill vibe going. You're surprised that you haven't been caught yet, dastardly carjacker that you are, but maybe you're just a better thief than you always thought. A possible career change to look into if you ever get back to Earth. The downside is that it's a little difficult for you to further your goal of gathering even more friendship from inside the vehicle. So you'd park the scuttle buggy and expose yourself to the menace of the outside world once more. You're in what looks like some sort of residential neighborhood. It isn't as nice as the blue blood neighborhoods you've seen, but still nice enough for most of the apartment complexes to have imposing locks on the front gates and security drones. But, of course, you can't take a leisurely stroll in Alternia without something terrible happening. You aren't out here for very long before it starts raining. Shit, damn, and fuck. You ditched the umbrella Tirona gave you since it was as heavy as a goddamn club, and now you're super regretting it. Running for shelter is all you can do, so you make a mad dash for one of the building awnings, huddling uncomfortably underneath it. So the rain doesn't let up. You'll have to move soon. The security drones are beginning to look like they're planning on taking a few shots at you for loitering. Ugh. You need to make a decision, and fast. This is gonna result in us probably just going back home, but run back to the scuttle buggy. It's parked a ways away down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You abandon the security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Alternian weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand nuclear-ass rain. You probably would have had better luck with the security drones. Did we die? That's great. It's great, I love it. I'm trying to get into one of the buildings. There's no way you're getting into any of these without a passcode. But wait, you think you see someone coming your way? Perhaps they'll be your knight in shining armor. So, what you're telling me is that my appointment is cancelled. You're still some distance away, but she's looking right at you. You point to yourself questioningly, thinking she might be talking to you, but then you realize she's wearing a Bluetooth headset. Jeremy used to be so on the ball, remembering the time he gave me a full-pronged, beautifying procedure. Words. What is wrong with you, brain? Right after that high blood ripped his arm off. But now he can't bounce back from one little thresher in the album of sausages. What happened? That boy is losing his touch. Looks like she's coming back from a jog, if the running shoes were anything to go by. If she's at all bothering with the acid glancing off her skin, sending dozens of little firecracker sparks in her wake, she isn't showing it. Bothered. She seems much more preoccupied by the harried conversation she's having on the phone. Most importantly, she's power working to the entrance of the building, which means she must live here. This is your chance. You shuffle along under the awning, press yourself close to the side of the building. Bug-like. There's a hair on my mic and it's distracting me. You sort of wish she'd encountered you earlier when you were dodging rain like a brat action hero, but now you just look sort of cowardly and pathetic. Especially compared to her. She's striding along like absolutely nothing is getting in the way of whatever business she's got going on, let alone a few paltry explosions. Actually, she's so focused on her call that she doesn't notice you until you're standing right next to her. Such an inconvenience. You can fully expect that I will be taking my business elsewhere from now on, and... Oh my, what do we have here? She transitions from hanging up the call to talking to you so quickly that it makes your head spin. Take this down. Strange little hornless creatures parked in front of home, very puny and scared looking. What? Parked in front of home, very puny and scared looking. Can only be the alien everyone has been talking about. Such an opportunity can't go to waste, now can it? You're confused again, looking around to see who she might be talking to, but there's no one else here. Maybe she's dedicating notes to her phone? Dictating notes to her phone? Dedicating, yes. Good job, Blue. You know how to read. Look at you. We can't have you wandering around outside like this, darling, can we? Aren't you so ravishing? Do give me the name of your stylist. So good to meet you. Here's my card. I wish she had punctuation. The name's Stelsa. Auditerrorizer in training for the Alternian Empire. Nice to meet you. Let's walk and talk. You didn't realize that borrowed hoodie was that impressive of a look, but okay. She produces a business card with one hand and inputs some numbers in a panel with the other. You take the card. It's a struggle to process what she's saying, respond to her questions, and introduce yourself while experiencing the verbal equivalent of getting hit by a truck. How is it possible to talk so fast without taking a breath? You can barely get a word in edgewise. Stelsa continues chattering away as she steps inside and waits for you to follow her into the apartment building's elevator. You do. So tell me, do you run any business on your own planet? If you do, I would be more than happy to offer my services. They are very efficient and affordable, I can assure you. All your legal and financial documents will be checked over in no time. I'll make sure everything is running at tip-top shape. I'm so happy to have run into you. Ever since Zizi told me she met you, I've been asking her to introduce me. It's so important for a professional to continue growing her network, especially intergalactically. Don't you agree? She's still busying herself with her phone while talking to you, texting on its tiny keyboard. Now, the name Zizi doesn't ring any bells. You flip through your Rolodex in your brain, trying to remember. Have you really made so many friends that you're beginning to forget their names? You're a little impressed with yourself. It feels like only yesterday that you were crawling around in the basement of a murderess and getting stabbed in the shin with a screwdriver. Just a single friend to your name. Good times. You've come so far since then. It brings a single sentimental tear to your eye. Wait. Stelsa's own name starts sound familiar. Stelsa's own name finally starts to register. You've heard it before. This is Ty's mate Sprit. So she must be talking about Ty. Murderous stabbing is very fascinating stuff, I'm sure. Yes, I'm referring to my darling Ty, of course. You're at the door of her hive. She unlocks it, letting you both in. God damn, mouth, brain, work together, please. Hang in there. It's those stupid text memes that you would see everywhere. The early meme days. Is that a Mario flower right there? This is a very fascinating place you've got. Come in, come in. Welcome to Ches. Ches last name. Make yourself at home. I can get you anything. Water, grub cake, my rate sheep. I would love to continue our chat while I'm a little less sweaty. Also, acid wreaks absolute havoc on your skin, as you know how it is. I'll just jump into the tub for a minute. Please excuse me, I won't be long. Back in 2 shakes of a quack beast gastric evacuation polo? What? Actually, you wouldn't know how it is, considering that a bucket load of acid falling on you would leave you either very injured and or very dead. And she's already gone. Is that Ty's hoodie? You're a little relieved. It's not that Stelsa isn't friendly. She's plenty friendly. She just approaches friendship in a way that makes you feel a little like a line on her to-do list that she's in a hurry to check off. Or, well, she seems like she wants you as some sort of work contact, not a friend. But that's okay. You've worn many hats in the pursuit of friendship. Clown cultist, impromptu shush papper, murder accomplice. Business associate is one of the tamer ones on the list. Now that you no longer have to keep up with her mile-a-minute conversation, you take a proper look around her hive. You're not sure what's most perturbing, the sheer amount of pink that's accosting your eyeballs, or the fact that everything is so painstakingly organized that it makes you a little uncomfortable. It's like you merely standing there is disrupting the careful order of the room. Her shelves are crammed full of books, all neatly arranged according to topic, with each topic displayed on the label on each shelf. Oh, goddamn. I'm organized about my books, but I'm not that organized. She also has a lot of posters featuring motivational slogans underneath striking nature photography. The only normal-looking spot in the hive is the coffee table with a mishmash of personal belongings piled on top of it. Books, papers, a jacket. You think that might be a mug? None of those items strike you as being particularly stealth style. The overall effect is that of a very pink, very neat office cubicle. You almost feel like you should start chugging mediocre coffee and complaining about how much you hate Mondays. So sorry to have kept you waiting. Oh. Stelsa reemerges, her hair wrapped in a towel. Well, it's been a blast getting to know you. We should get lunch sometime. Keep the conversation going. I'll pencil you in, darling. But for now, I have a bit of a dilemma to deal with. That sounds worryingly like a dismissal. You sneak a glance at the schedule on her bulletin board. It's a blaze of color, with barely any free slots. You don't want to be penciled in. You have no idea when she might be available next. And you need her sweet, sweet friendship now. Maybe whatever the problem she has is something you could help with? Unless you're ludicrously talented but beautician, I think not. My usual place dumped me off their list, and right before a very important meeting, too. A girl has to look her best for these things to really knock their socks off. Oh god, words. But I want to make arrangements at another salon. I have to move fast, so no time to waste. We're gonna fuck up. Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? That is an excellent idea. I visited this potential client's establishment a wipe ago, but it was a quick one. I could do well to cast my gander bulbs around the place properly. Eyes. Just say eyes. Trolls. Complicated words. I will repeat again. Why? It's pretty much in the bag, but this meeting is the clincher, and there's no way I can flub it. Having Ramel as a client would be too good of a cluckbeast plume in my pan lid for me to chuck the opportunity in the load gapper. Ramel? You totally know that. Her. How about that? Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashed all over the papers lately with this stunt of hers. Buying out her competitors like that, I've never heard of the likes of it before. She's flitting around her hive as she speaks, nipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow dry her hair before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tell her as much as you can, feeling a bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip her at every turn. Maintaining a career of successful yet relatively avant-garde artists is very different to assuming ownership of and managing a museum, and yet she has made it work. Whoa, sounds like Ramel has been busy since the last time you saw her. You clarified that Ramel is a friend of yours, actually. Stelsa stops in her tracks. Really? Oh, God. Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting the 411 on Ramel from a friend of hers could really give me a fond up. What do you say? You're not sure there's much you can tell Stelsa about Ramel. You're pretty sure Ramel doesn't want an auditor in training or, well, anyone really, knowing she's an artist. But, why not? There has to be some straight info about Ramel knocking around the old noggin that might come in useful. Marvelous! Come on, you can tell me on the way. She takes your hand and pulls you out the door. You offer Stelsa a ride in your totally not stolen scooter buggy. It's still raining, but she shields you both with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are as you walk to where it's parked. You get in, put on some tunes for the road, and head off. Oh boy. You picked one heck of a scuttle buggy, my friend. Once you're on your way, you admit to Stelsa that most of your and Ramel's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off of you for her webcomic. But you're still happy to answer any questions she might have about Ramel's overall deal. You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up. What a privilege! Oh, God. To be completely truthful, I'm quite the fan and have been following her webcomic for a while. She admits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think liking comics is embarrassing? Of course not. Okay, maybe a little. It seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comic on the internet when I have so much other business to attend to. Lots of irons in the fire over here. Achievements don't achieve themselves, you know. Maybe, but hobbies and downtime are important too. You never feel more rested than after you've let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic. What? She looks at you blankly. You know, rest. Oh, I always make sure to get enough recuperation. God, where was that C coming from? Every day, no concerns to be sure. What you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep, but you try a different tack. Why is she taking this job with Ramel anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training? Well, sure, I have that internship with the Alternatian government as well, but there can never be enough experience under one's belt. You're beginning to see what the problem is. You get the feeling that Stelsa might be a bit of a workaholic, just vaguely. Has she ever considered? You're so involved with trying to convince. You're so involved with trying to convince Stelsa of the merits of getting her chill on that you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Stelsa lets out a screech that almost burst your eardrums. Fiddlesticks, we can't go this way. There's road work happening here. The scuttle buggy must be operating with an outdated map. Switch it to manual and turn us around. Quick, quick! The word Rook Stelsa is referring to is a bridge with a do not enter sign hastily put up. Beyond the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes. Ugh. I need to get a pop filter, but some look big enough for the entire car to falter easily. What are you waiting for? Hurry! Well, there's one small problem. You can't drive. Oh. Fudge nuggets. Stelsa presses a few buttons, switching the controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly. Your only goal is to make sure you don't drive onto the death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slope curving away from the road. Are we gonna get a bad end? You both yell as the Scuttle buggy nooms downward at full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward. If it wasn't for the unnerving lung-like airbags that inflate in front of you, you would have shot out the front window. Anxiously, you ask if Stelsa's okay. Stelsa doesn't seem to be concerned whether she's injured or not. She's making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car. There's no way we will make my meeting on time now, and I look like an absolute mess. She's right. Her hair, which was all gentle and soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions. Her glasses have smashed in the collision. Why did I think this was a good idea? I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing. The car might have survived the cast, but if Stelsa's cranky expression is anything to go by, your butting fresh up with her wasn't as lucky. She looks kind of funny, to be completely honest with you. Who needs a beautician when you're around? You have absolutely no professional beauty experience, but Sirava did give you that crash course on crafting good looks. Stelsa is probably after a vibe that's a little less moisture wave, but you sure you can whip up something? You tell her you'll help her get ready instead, right here in her hive. Ooh! Oh gosh, how nice of you. I've never had a house call before. Let's do this. Oh god. Is this her Recrupercoon? Wow. She leads you into the next room, rubbing her hair dry as she goes. There's a Recrupercoon in the corner and a vanity in the other, with an array of puffs, brushes, and other mysterious implements spread out on its surface. Some of them are disturbingly pointy. Oh. Well, you're sure you'll be able to figure out what they're all for once you start using them. Turn the music down a little bit. Okay. Stelsa takes a seat in a chair in front of the vanity, folding her hands primly in her lap. So, darling, what do you think we should do first? It's all up to you. Not this again. Why are you always making the decisions around here? What you wouldn't give to be able to voice your own life choices off to other people you've just met. It would be refreshing. I don't know about the whole horns biz, so... Because all I can think about is all the Homestuck stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Style hair? First order of business should be drying Stelsa's hair. You pick up a funnel-shaped doohickey that looks like it might be a hairdryer. Fumbling around with the button, there isn't one, but you manage to turn it on by giving it a good squeeze. The mouth of the funnel opens wide, emitting a hot blast of air along with a hoarse animal yell. You think you might actually see teeth inside? Just don't think about it too much. That's the best you can do when it comes to literally any alternative gadget. Thankfully, the noise soon fades into a low hum. Here, use this. Stelsa passes a piece of thorny bramble. It looks painful. But when you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, she sighs happily. Interesting being in this position for once. When Ty is over, usually I'm the one doing this. You try to imagine Ty letting someone give her a sweet due. even when it's her girlfriend in question. You have a hard time picturing it. Stelsa laughs. She has a surprisingly pretty musical laugh. No, my dear Zizi isn't one for involved beauty rituals. She usually doesn't let me do it more than just brush it, but it's still relaxing. Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. You allow yourself to zen out for a moment before shaking yourself out of it, casting around for something to talk about. That's what good hairdressers do, right? Strike up a casual conversation. Your eyes fall on an open book sitting on the table. It's the only object there that doesn't have anything to do with hair care or beauty, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Just like the items on her coffee table, it's strewn about haphazardly to look like it belongs to Stelsa. Too haphazardly. I'm skipping words now. You think you see some of the tabs Ty was using on the notes for her group project. And if you look even closer, you can catch the words revolt and history on the same page header, and the page header. Right. As Ty's mate spits, Stelsa probably has big plans for dismantling the system from the inside too, after she becomes an auditor. You remark that you think it's really cool what she's Ty doing. It might be scary to stick it to the man like that, but someone has to do it. Okay. It's not exactly a light conversation, but talking to Ty about this has been so enlightening, if sad. You really bonded over it. Maybe you'll be able to bond with Stelsa the same way. Stelsa only looks confused, then her eyes flick down to the book, just for a second, before it reaches out and smartly snaps it, and scrolls it away in one of the drawers. The sound of the drawer slamming makes you jump, and you nearly avoid pulling Stelsa's hair. I'm quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sticking anything anywhere, and definitely not to any man. And neither is Ty. She's sitting straight and tense in the chair now. Her voice is soaring to high, bordering on hysterical pitch. Oh no, she probably doesn't know you're on their side. Ty might not have told you about your conversation. It's okay, you're not going to tell anyone. You swore to secrecy, but Stelsa averts her eyes to a stubborn set to her chin. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about, not a single clue. Ty and myself are both law-abiding subjects of the Empire. We don't dabble in such foolish things as sympathizing with rebels. What would that possibly accomplish? She wrings her hands distractedly. We do the things the way we do on Alternia for a reason, darling. Without the hemospectrum and the roles we each need to play, why, the world would be plunged into complete chaos. Can you even imagine? Trolls running around not knowing which way is up, doing whatever they please, no one to tell them what their place in the world is. She goes from hand-wringing to gesturing wildly, almost knocking a row of jars off the table, and positively frantic at the prospect of social breakdown. It's better for everyone this way. I truly believe that. You're beginning to realize you might have put your foot in your mouth. Just a little bit. Stuffed a toe or two in that gob of yours, maybe. She sounds way too earnest for this to be a cover-up. Could it be possible that Stelsa really does side with what had Ty called her? The Constance? Condense. And that she doesn't know about Ty's underground research after all. But the book was right there. You're so confused. Talking about this is clearly distressing Stelsa, though, so you drop it. Focusing on finishing up her hair instead. It's pretty soft now that it's dry. You're not sure you styled it correctly, but she seems pleased. Great work. Nice. Fantastic. You did an excellent job. You glow at the praise. You say thanks, but she's already passing you a bottle of nail polish. She really let you go all the way, huh? You twist it open and get to work. You're too focused on not smudging the teal color over the stately points of her claws to talk, but Stelsa breaks the silence. I have a question for you. You nod, sticking your tongue out in concentration. So, I have this acquaintance. This is the most tentative you've heard her so far. You weren't sure her vocal cords were capable of it. They're in a quadrant with someone who harbors views most would consider subversive, if not outright treasonous. She's obviously talking about herself and Ty, but you don't want to point out Point that out in case she gets upset again. Brain is falling asleep. Okay. So you just nod along thoughtfully. She didn't always. The mate spread, I mean. It will blow over at some point. She must just be going through a difficult phase. But in the meantime, she could get into, oh, so much trouble. Stelsa's lower lip wobbles like she's about to cry. You chew on the inside of your cheek, trying to figure out what to say. Ow. Talking to Ty very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. She sounded pretty serious. Does Stelsa's friend have any idea that this is going on? She looks at the drawer. So do you. Nope. You resist the urge to massage your temples. No idea at all. Absolutely not. Alright, okay, you can do this. Good first step might be for her friend to face up to the issue, you know. If there's a chance they have the tiniest inkling about what might be happening, so the two of them can talk about it. Talk about it? Yeah, you're no expert, but open discussion possibly helps with relationship problems quite a bit. Plus, you ruminate to yourself. The more you think about it, the less it seems that Ty is leaving her controversial book out like that was an accident. It was right in front of Stelsa's chair, after all. Maybe Ty wanted Stelsa to see it. You'd slicked the last bit of color on Stelsa's pinky claw a while ago, but you're both too wrapped up in conversation to suggest that you move on to something else. She lets the polish dry while you two continue to talk. But my friend does not agree with her mate's sentiments. Discussing it would cause unnecessary friction, wouldn't it? Maybe, but even so, addressing the issue is probably better than pretending it isn't there. Besides, quadrant mates can, coexist regardless of different beliefs, right? Yeah, you don't sound convincing even to yourself, but the platitudes seem to comfort Stelsa somewhat. Maybe you're right. Carefully, mindful of her just dry nails, she wipes away a few tears, much to your horror. Was that the wrong thing to say? But then you notice that she's smiling. I have not spoken about that to anyone before now. Telling you about it was truly a load off my chest. I'm certain my friend will be grateful as well, as I shall relay your advice accordingly as soon as I can. You smile back at her weakly. You haven't been able to relate to very much when it comes to alternian life, but boy, you can relate to relationship drama, and trolls seem to have plenty of it. You hope everything turns out alright for her friend. Since her voice is all sniffly and her eyelashes still wet, you retrieve a frilly box of hand tissues and hold it out to her, hoping that will help. She pulls a few out and blows her nose on them with a sad honking noise. I should finish getting ready. She seems reluctant to get up, though. You'd probably be the same, knowing you had to head into a serious business meeting after spilling your heart like that. Experiencing emotions is tiring. Oh god, headphones slipping off head. Eventually, though, Stelsa musters up enough energy to get to her feet. Much to your surprise, instead of immediately rushing off to complete her next pre-meeting task, she pulls you into a tight hug. Thank you! You're a real friend. And there it is. No colleague, not potential client, but that wonderful friendship word. Aww. Friends forever. Ah, there's a pale sign. That's cute. That's cute. And that was Stelsa. We finally met Ty's mate, Sprit. I hope things work out for them. They're similar yet different in very many ways. But that's it for today's stars. I will see you. I'm messing up my own intro because I'm forgetting what I say. First off, let me know what you think about Stelsa. Now, that's it for today's stars. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to join our wonderful galaxy. Comment down below and I'll get back to you some way or another. And I will see you for our next adventure. Remember, we're all made of the same cosmic dust, so be nice. Kate, love you, bye!